Mira Verde, California. A beautiful oceanside community just like hundreds of others along the California coast. And just like so many of the other towns, this peaceful little enclave has had to make room for some unwelcome expansion. Big industry, big corporate headquarters, and big waste. The most ill-conceived addition, at least in my opinion, was the local university. It seems someone in the state legislature thought it would be a good idea to build a university on a beach. It's clear that they never tried to teach a room full of emancipated 19-year-olds who would rather be enjoying the 4-foot surf a mere 150 yards away. I suppose that in some corners of the world, young people would prefer to take advantage of the beautiful landscape of a place like this and give themselves over to quiet contemplation and concentrated study. But that's not Mira Verde. On Friday night, the only thing the students are studying is malted hops and barley.
Hey, Kate, Cat!
My name is Joe Fourier, Dr. Fourier. I'm a professor of marine ecology at the University of Mira Verde. I don't mean for it to sound like I hate students or that I don't like living in Mira Verde. But after teaching here for 20 years, you get to see all sides of a place. And despite the appearance, life here is not always sunny. And when it rains, it pours. In fact, right now, the clouds seem to be rolling in, and they are filled with ominous intent. The signs of trouble began about a week ago. It seems a gleaner was attacked while collecting discarded recyclables on the beach, below the Mira Verde student housing. The body was covered in a red, viscous sludge. The local forensics teams couldn't make heads or tails of the stuff, so they sent in the guy that specializes in flippers and scales. Now, where did you come from? I took the sample to the lab, but before I had any results, the town was already buzzing with rumor and panic. Nothing ever stays quiet for long in a small town. I guess you couldn't blame everyone for getting a little panicked about strange disappearances and grisly murders, but the stuff people were suggesting was more like science fiction nightmares than logical reason. The chief component of the sample was apparently benzene, a chemical found in polystyrene.
Benzene?
That didn't make any sense. Polystyrene can be found in homes across the nation. Why were these attacks only happening in Mira Verde? It didn't add up. Meanwhile, all the commotion had the city leaders worried, and the mayor had called me personally to demand an explanation as soon as the lab report was ready. I didn't know it at the time, but they were right to be frightened. The answer to the attacks was right under their noses, but neither they nor I knew that at the time. All I knew was that there was something strange about that sample, something synthetic. Whatever the answer was, I figured I wasn't likely to arrive at any conclusions until morning.
Oh my God!
The next morning, I got another piece to the puzzle, but it didn't make the picture any clearer. 3 more students were killed in the night. The attacks happened like all the others. Big crowds, lots of booze, and then lots of red ooze. I wasn't any closer to figuring out what was causing these attacks, and I was wanted in the mayor's office in 30 minutes. All I could report was the strange presence of polystyrene. I was not looking forward to this meeting. Not only did I have no real idea about what was going on, but I would have to explain it to a person that got elected mayor based on their past glory as a former Miss California. I don't believe we formally met. I'm Dr. Joe Fourier.
I know who you are, but what do you want?
I ran some tests on the evidence I found at the Cayuga crime scene. I'm 99% certain that the substance I found is polystyrene.
Wait, what?
Polystyrene.
So what you're telling me is this whatever is, threatening my community.
Well, sort of. I mean, I don't want to alarm the public, but you must consider all the variables in this situation.
I think I know exactly what is going on here.
You do?
You betcha.
Citizens of Mira Verde, I come to you with an urgent message. We have reason to believe that terrorists have infiltrated our community and are seeking to enrich the substance of polystyrene for the possible use of a WMD. Effective immediately, there will be a community-wide ban on the substance polystyrene. Any refusal to do so will be met with the necessary repercussions. I intend to keep the safety of our community first.
I had heard she wasn't the sharpest knife in the drawer, but connecting this whole crisis to terrorism didn't make sense. Why would terrorists target Mira Verde? Why wouldn't they be taking responsibility for the attacks?
Hey man, you got any more red cups? You know what? Come back tomorrow.
The students were smart enough to realize that there was no terrorist threat, and the merchants found ways of avoiding the police state being imposed upon them.
Who wants to play flip cup?
While the town reacted to the mayor, I headed back to my office to see if I had missed something in my initial report. And that's when things got a little more interesting.
You're close to the answer. Call me between 2 and 3 p.m. today. 555-6453. Richard Stanson.
Hello? Did you get the envelope?
Is this Richard?
Did you open the envelope?
No, not yet.
Look, it's the stuff polystyrene. It's a synthetically engineered neurotoxin that completely shuts down the central nervous system. It causes cancer, brain and spinal abnormalities. It's found in disposable food containers, in cups, in styrofoam, in napalm, in gun and incinerator devices. If you get enough of this stuff out there, you can control demands for a cure.
How do you know this?
Look, inside of that envelope there is a study. The study will show you how much of this stuff gets into our sewer system and eventually contaminates our water supply around us.
Well, so why is this happening?
It's polysim, it's corporations. They create apathy by providing cheap and disposable products. They make it too easy to waste. They've even unleashed a monster here to control people through fear.
I don't know about this. Well, I'll have to let OK know about it for sure.
No, don't you get it? She is the problem. She's trying to provide you with the solution. Look, it's not safe now. I have to go. Just check out the website, miraverdetruth.com.